Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to wait just a little bit for other people to join in. So I will pause the recording and resume it when we're ready to start.
Lauren, you're on mute.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our session again. My name is Lauren King. I am the Director of Financial Aid here at Berkeley Law. And here in this presentation, we have two of my colleagues joining us as well. Joseph and Rosanna, if you guys want to introduce yourself real quick before we begin, that'd be great.
Hi, my name is Rosanna Hill Thomas. I'm an Associate Director of Financial Aid at Berkeley Law.
Hey, everybody. My name is Joseph Lindsay. I use they, them pronouns. I'm the Acting Assistant Dean of Admissions and Financial Aid.
Thank you. So together, we're very excited to share some updates about the admissions and financial aid processes that we hope that you'll find helpful. I'll start by covering some key points to keep in mind at this stage of the admissions process. And after that, Joseph or Rosanna, if you guys have anything else to add, please feel free to do. And towards the end, we'll open up the floor for your questions. In this presentation, we have Q&A on the bottom of the screen. If you have any questions throughout the session, feel free to, enter your questions. Rosanna will be monitoring the questions. She may not get to all the questions that you're asking. So at the end of the session, we may directly answer them live, or we'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. So, all right, let's dive into gift aid, a topic that everybody is eager to learn more about. So, we began offering gift aid offers as early as December, and we've been sending out offer letters on a rolling basis. If you're still waiting to hear from us, thank you for your patience. We will continue to finalize our decisions. We're planning to send out the next round of decisions pretty soon. And the good news is the majority of the gift aid offers will be sent out by March 19th. So you'll be notified whether or not you are offered gift aid at Berkeley Law, so you won't be left wondering what's going on. We can't really promise you if you are going to hear by the March 19th, but we'll try our best to let you know by then. And regarding the need-based aid, once you receive your admissions offer letter, I'm sure most of you already did, you'll be invited to complete the supplemental gift aid application. So if you're interested in being considered for need-based aid, we highly recommend that you complete the SGA as soon as possible. And even if you don't think the need-based aid is something that you would qualify for, it's still a good idea for you to submit the application, because we use that application to identify some of our scholarship recipients as well. So we recommend everyone to complete the SGA as soon as possible so that we can start reviewing and making decisions of the need-based scholarships or some of the named or donor-based scholarships. And lastly, I have updates regarding BLOS, the Berkeley Law Opportunity Scholarship, and Public Interest Scholars. The deadline was December 15th for you to apply. And right now, we're in the process of reviewing applications and making decisions. Award notifications will start going out in mid to late February. And by that time, you'll receive one of the three outcomes: yes, no, or you're waitlisted for the scholarship. So because we will let you know by that time, please, patiently wait for our decision. And, using that decision, then you'll know what your next step might be. And if you have any questions throughout the admissions and financial aid cycle, feel free to reach out to us. We're always here to help you and answer any questions that we can answer. So yeah. And Joseph, is there anything else that you'd like to add other than the things that I just mentioned?
No, not at the moment. I think what you all said is helpful. So again, if you have yet to complete the supplemental gift aid application, I would just encourage you to do so. That's helpful for us in being able to nominate you for not only merit-based awards, which is part of your application, and all the components, but determining any need-based factors as well.
Perfect. Rosanna, I don't see any questions in the Q&A yet. Okay, so let's just open up the floor for any questions that you may have. Feel free to unmute yourself. I think you can do that. If not, then let us know in the chat so I can allow you to talk. I think I do have to do that. So yeah, if you have questions, please type in your questions or let us know that you'd like to ask your question live. That way, then we can have you ask your question. Okay, the first question we received, what is the likelihood of receiving merit-based gift aid? For example, what percentage of students receive aid?
That's a tough question, honestly. I think the thing, so thanks for asking that question. I think one of the things that we have is that there is an initial round that goes on that we will send out notifications for gift aid awards. And so there is a committee that evaluates it, and we will do that on a rolling basis as they continue going up until March. What we often find, though, is that because there are a number of you that are looking at other schools and are considering finances, that conversation about reconsideration of the award or maybe not receiving one or circumstances have changed, then become part of the conversation. And so we may then see, you going through another process so that you could likely then apply, be considered for gift aid. So it gets a little convoluted, and I apologize. I'm not really giving like percentages because I think it will depend. More often than not, many of you, when I send out initial gift aid awards, you don't respond, or you get part of the reconsideration process. So my yield or the percentage that are actually accepting initial sometimes is like 0. So then I feel unloved and unwanted. But then when the reconsideration goes through, you are then having more of a conversation because there's other offered awards, which we find then that percentage is much higher. And people accepting because now they have an idea between a school they're considering and us. And that helps them in their decision-making process. It's too early to say, what that likelihood will be this year. We find that more than we have a greater yield of through reconsideration. So I wish I could tell you like an actual percentage, and then also partly because it varies from year to year. I mean, we can always tell you what the average award was given like this past year, which is also why we saw an increase in the offer of the Finding Early Decision Scholarship, because average award was over 30,000. So, at least you have an idea of what we were giving to our entering class, but it'll just depend with each entry class. Apologies.
Thank you, Joseph. I know some of you already started typing your questions in the Q&A, so I'm going to read the question. The first one we have that we're going to answer live is, can we talk about the process of filling out the SGA form and financial aid in general for non-citizens? So the supplemental gift aid application, the application itself is available through Google Form, or the Qualtrics. So you should be able to complete that regardless of your citizenship status. For the financial aid, though, it depends on which financial aid resource you're looking for. So if you are an international student or somebody who's not eligible for federal aid, then obviously you don't need to complete the FAFSA application. This same answer goes for students who are also eligible to complete FAFSA but not interested in borrowing federal student loans. For some of our non-citizen students or who are not permanent resident in the United States, many students seek private student loan options or external scholarships as well as Berkeley Law gift aid. So those are all the possible options that you can seek out for. We don't really have a specific application for non-citizens at Berkeley Law, but if I know every student's case is a little unique to their own. So if you have specific question about your situation, feel free to schedule an appointment with our office, then we can, hear your situation, walk you through what might be the best resource to seek out for and how we can help you throughout that process. The next question we have is, will scholarship decision, such as public interest scholars, come out at the same time as the gift aid decision, or is it separate? It is separate. So you will hear from us regarding the decision of the public interest scholars and the BLOS scholarship. But you'll also hear from us regarding the gift aid decision. So because the public interest scholars and the Berkeley Law's Opportunity Scholarship offers full tuition and fees, including the health insurance fee, that is the most generous scholarship that we offer here at Berkeley Law. Therefore, if you are, offered the public interest scholar or the Berkeley Law Opportunity Scholarship, most likely, you're not gonna get another gift aid offer on top of that. But if you're not getting public interest scholars or the Berkeley Law Opportunity Scholarship, there's a chance that you can still receive Berkeley Law gift aid. So that's why I answered it is separate. So you will hear from us if you are getting any gift aid or not, if you're not getting the PI scholars or BLOS. Okay, the next question I have is elaborating on the question posted earlier by someone else regarding the disadvantages to applying for need-based aid. Could gift or merit aid be reduced based on estimated ability to pay? No. So we don't use the SGA, the financial history section, to work it against your gift aid offer. So we're only using those answers to understand your financial circumstances and your history of you and your family's financial situations for us to determine your need-based aid eligibility. But your merit-based eligibility is determined through all the materials that you have submitted through the admissions application. So we are not, if once we decide, what your merit eligibility is, we wouldn't go back and say, hey, this person earns a lot of money and we're going to put it down. We don't do that. So filling out the supplemental gift aid application would not hurt you in any way, but it would only help you to be considered for as many scholarships as possible. Like I mentioned, not only the financial section is available, but also earlier in the supplemental gift aid questionnaire, you'll see some of the questions that you can answer, like check everything that applies to you. And those are the questions that we sometimes have like scholarships for. So that's why it's important for you to, even if like you don't want to answer the financial history part of it, you can skip those questions, but you can at least answer the scholarship related questions in the beginning. So that's why we still recommend everyone to complete the supplemental gift aid questionnaire. Okay. Let's see. Okay, the next question I see here in the Q&A is, would the information in our FAFSA impact the amount of gift aid we receive during the regular or recon gift aid process? No, we don't look at the FAFSA application information for us to even determine the need-based aid eligibility for our entering students, only because like I mentioned, some students are not eligible to complete the FAFSA application. Some students decide not to complete the FAFSA application. So therefore, we have the supplemental gift aid questionnaire for that purpose. So therefore, we're not using FAFSA application for for determining the amount of gift aid. Okay, and then does Berkeley Law have any guidance or advice for navigating potential changes to federal loans and loan forgiveness with the new administration? This is a great question, and I know many of you are very curious to know what's going to happen and what changes we're going to see, because we don't know and there are many uncertainty. What we can tell you right now is we are doing our best and to understand what's going to happen and also try to find ways to support our students. We're going to adapt our process to meet your needs, and our loan repayment assistance program will remain. We will continue to have that. Whether there will be some changes in the different types of loan repayment options available with the new administration. So because we don't know what's really happening and what's really changing, we can't really tell you, but yeah, but we're gonna do our best to support you in any way possible. Okay. Are there any scholarships that would be a good idea to apply to and would accept applications even though our Berkeley app has been submitted? Are there any scholarships that would be a good idea to apply to and would accept applications even though our Berkeley app has been
Oh,
submitted?
can I take that one?
Yeah.
That's an easy one. So outside of Berkeley, of course, there's always other scholarship opportunities. So one is you can look on our website. There's a way that you can look at the information and search a database of upcoming scholarship opportunities. Beyond that, I think it will just depend on how you identify, whether you're first gen, or, but either way, ones to look at is like the American Bar Association has a Legal Opportunity Fund Award. It's a $5,000 scholarship that's given each year for a student that's admitted to an ABA accredited school. So if you are selected for that award, the award goes with you to whichever school you decide to attend this fall. There's the One Lawyer Can Make a Difference scholarship. That's a $10,000 award. And so that's another one I would always encourage you to apply for as well. If there are anyone on here that identifies as Black African American, there's the Marshall Motley Scholars. That one is another opportunity through the NAACP. And then, for example, if any identifies as Latinx, there is the HSF, the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, or the Mexican American Legal Defense Education Fund. They provide listings of scholarships as well. Much like we are operating on Berkeley time and someone who identifies as Latinx and Native, MALDEF and HSF can be a little slow in responding, but it never hurts to apply, because if you get selected for the award, it could come later in the school year, but then that's money that you could use towards paying for books or helping to reduce the amount in student loans that you are borrowing to cover cost of living.
Great. I know Rosanna might have answered a question regarding a student asking about a list of scholarships that they can apply for. In the chat, I shared a link to our website that has the scholarship search information. It has like tips about how to search for and apply for outside agency scholarships, as well as some of the scholarship databases that has like tons of applications or scholarship opportunities that are available for you. You can start searching for prospective incoming law students, scholarships, and there are many scholarships out there that I can tell you. So please look through our resource and let us know in the financial aid office if you guys have a hard time finding any scholarships that you can apply for. We can always go to these databases with you, walk you through how to apply for some of the scholarships. The next question we have is, can we talk through the process of filling out? Wait, so that one we already answered. So in the chat, let me see if we have any other questions. We don't. Okay. Does Berkeley Law offer reconsideration for students who don't have offers from other law schools? Yes. So there are two, we say 4 reasons, but typically in a bigger picture, it's 2 reasons that we consider for reconsideration. One, for students who have, competing offer from other school that you want to use to negotiate with us and, have us, reconsider your offer. If you have an offer. If you don't have gift aid offer, that's another way for you to ask for, hey, can you reconsider me for gift aid? The second reason is for any students who have extenuating financial circumstances after submitting the SGA. So this is specifically for need-based aid. If you complete the SGA today and something happens financially to you or to your family that would impact your ability greatly to attend Berkeley Law, you can use the reconsideration to ask for our reassessment of the need-based aid for you. So that's another reason. Okay, we still have plenty of time. So if you have any questions that that we can help you answer, please type in your question in the Q&A or in the chat, whichever is easier for you.
Hey, Lauren, if I could too, on the reconsideration, we will have those upcoming webinars that will address and answer other questions. So Alice Young, the Director of Admissions for Outreach and Recruitment, will also be on that call as well. And then we'll be making sure that there's communication that goes out. And if you're attending Admitted Students Weekend or any of our upcoming admitted events, you'll be able to ask us more questions on the road because I realize reconsideration can be a little tricky and sometimes confusing. So I think it's a good opportunity to at least ask when you have a minute. Oh, yes, I do. Guides for the best way to go. It would be great to know. I have a lot more do's and sometimes don'ts. So this is an easy one, but thank you for asking. I think the thing about for dues, as you all are looking at this process, I realize one is, of course, be professional. I know that you all are, but sometimes you'd be surprised when we get people being very short with us. Because I think the thing is understanding as much as we would love to give full scholarships to everybody, and it's not a realistic option. And so I think the guidelines to going through it is really you will have an opportunity to indicate your reason for your request for reconsideration, listing any of the ones that Lauren already mentioned to you, but also kind of doing the work and showing us what is it that you're thinking about as you're comparing the school between us and the Rosanna Hill School of Law. Is it because of the programming that's available at those schools, or if it's the one at Lawrence School of Law? What are the things about each of the schools that are really kind of why you're thinking about it? Because it helps the committee in the evaluation as to, okay, I might be, let's see what I can work with. You will always have the opportunity in the request to request full, but I don't know whether or not they will respond that way. They may be able to increase it, they may be able to up it a little bit, but at least by giving us some additional information that we may not be able to pull from your application is always helpful to understand as well, because we're trying to be able to respond in as quickly of a matter to you. The other things as far as guidelines to know is that we're not always able to respond on some other schools' deadline. And so when reconsideration opens on March 19th, to be able to submit it at a time when you feel it's necessary, like you want to submit, if you're still waiting to hear from other schools that you are strongly considering, and you've only got one offer from a school that it's your fallback school, I would probably think about whether or not you want to submit it, because a reconsideration is a one-time only request. And so you want to make sure that you submit and show this is the school you're looking at, because then if you get an offer from Rosanna and it's an exploding offer, we may not be able to either to respond in that timeline, or we may just say, oh, we're very sorry, we've already responded to your request from your offer from Lauren, and so we're trying, this is what we can do. So I think the best thing will be, one, if you have a chance to attend Lauren's webinar with Alice, because it will go over more of the meat regarding the reconsideration process, but also we'll make sure our website is spelled out as well. And yes, happy to talk about funding. We are right now, and I realize many have been emailing us as well about upcoming admitted students events and registration for those events, and the travel stipend as well. An email, I believe, should be going out tomorrow. We are waiting for our registration links so we can start making sure that not only you all are able to register for it, but that our alumni are able to register for it as well. And so the best part because of that then is you'll get more information related then to the travel stipend. The way it works essentially is that the stipend, you will fill out a form. I'm sure you're all familiar with just filling out more and more forms, but you'll fill out a form, you'll upload a receipt of your travel ticket, whether it's through like Southwest, Alaska, United, yada, yada. But the thing is that we will then be able to, at ASW, or if you're coming for an individual visit, issue you a travel stipend card, which then you can transfer the monies back to your account or use it almost like a Target gift card in that example. The only thing is there are exceptions to the rule. And so we will pretty much spell it out on our website if it's not already accessible to you. So using points, for example, is not a way in which we can then issue a travel stipend. And also on the receipt that it's clear that there is like at least the showing proof of payment. And, some of you may be like, well, my mom paid for it. That's cool. We just want to be able to show that there's proof of payment and you are listed as the individual that's flying on that flight to the area itself. There's always exceptions to the rule, so you can always email admits. But then there is a separate funding for those flying in state and then those flying out of California to here. Sorry for the detailed response.
And Joseph, the next question, can you also take that? This person is asking about the best medium to ensure clear communication with Berkeley Law in the event they receive competing offers. Is there an email address or perhaps replying to existing emails from Berkeley Law admissions?
Yeah, so there is not, so this is where it's different. There are some schools that will have a reconsideration process where you're going to email them and it's more informal and you're just going to you're going to let them know by responding either to an existing competing offer, an existing email, and let them know about an award. And it will be back and forth a conversation. We will not have any discussion at this point for any competing offers until reconsideration opens. And that will be March 19th. It is a formal process, so it's a form that will be on the admitted students portal. You will then be able to access it and complete it. You'll upload any supporting documentation and including your reason for your request and the amount you're asking for us to either increase or to offer if you didn't receive an initial offer. And then at that point, we will respond to the request. So we don't do anything outside of that. And then it is a one-time request. At that point, then you will get a notification. And if whether we're able to extend an offer or to increase, your award through reconsideration, or we're not at all. Yes, if you are traveling and not visiting on ASW, so there are several individual admit visit dates that are going to also be published so that you should be able to register for them. They are limited capacity, so they're about 30 in total for each Monday. You're able to do that and request a travel stipend as well for that. Now, be in mind though, the thing we really would love for you to come to ASW instead, only because of the fact that there's so much programming that's out there. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are full days for the most part. Well, half day on Saturday, but great opportunity to meet with faculty and staff, students as well. There is a student reception on a Friday night, and there's a faculty reception and on Thursday night, the faculty reception. There's a lot of opportunity to engage with our dean and then ask some more questions about the students. So the individual visits are more shortened. You are just meeting with one of our student ambassadors. You will have the opportunity to meet with Lauren or a member of her team. And so that's the only thing that, it's more condensed. And so it's really not as, I just would hope that you would consider coming for ASW instead. And housing is not included in the travel stipend, but I will say that if your plane ticket, if you're flying from like Burbank to here and it's $89, we don't issue a travel stipend for $89. We just have flat fees. So like for out of state, I believe it's 400. Don't quote me on the in-state. I can't remember it offhand, so I'm pretty bad at that right now. But if it's greater, if the ticket is $89, and you still have excess that you'll get back in the stipend, you could apply that towards what your housing bill might be to cover any costs there.
A lot of good questions today. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, we still have some time left. So if you still have some questions, feel free to enter them. I know some of you have some questions regarding ASW. Joseph, I believe some information will go out to students regarding ASW pretty soon, correct? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So you'll hear from us with more information about that. And as Joseph mentioned earlier, there are more sessions that we plan each month to go over, the timely things at that time. So in February, we are going to go over general gift date information again. And then in March, because the reconsideration begins in March, that's when we're also going to discuss more heavily on reconsideration with Alice Young, the director of admissions, and also in April, because that's still recon heavy time, we are going to focus our topic on recon. May, we will discuss some other financial aid resources because by then you would know how much money you're getting from Berkeley Law and maybe how much money you have in your personal savings or other things, and you may be considering like, hey, what other options do I have? Like, how do I apply for external scholarships? Is there any other things that I can apply for? So at that time, we'll go over more in details about some of the other available resources other than the Berkeley Law Gift Aid. I know right now, most of your focus is, learning more about our gift aid process and attending some of our events. So if you have more questions later, then please know that we have other sessions that you can also attend to. I don't see any questions. So as I mentioned, we're only phone call or email away from you. So if you have any questions that you weren't thinking about at this session, but you have now, then you can always reach out to us. You can schedule an appointment with our office, or you can give us a call, send out an email. We'll try our best to get back to you as quickly as possible because it is our busy season. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than our regular time, but we'll do our best to get back to you. Joseph did provide our financial aid website in the chat. Awesome. So there you can find our contact information as well as any other information that you might want to know regarding other financial topics at Berkeley Law. So feel free to check out our website. And Rosanna, thank you. We do have Zoom office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays, one in the morning, the other one in the afternoon. For those of you who are not in Pacific time, could be helpful, right? So there's the link for you to actually get to the Zoom office. So great. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Because we are recording this webinar, we will work on captioning, like putting on the captioning and then making this recording available for you probably in a week or two. So if you want to go back to some of our answers that we answered, then please, wait for the recording, or you can reach back out to us as well. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.